This is your Saturday's news package weekend report on the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Ilorin. Good evening and welcome. I am Kehinde Omolosho. An outlook of tonight's package. Gomo community appeal for completion of road median on the federal road which passes through the community. We have a review of some reports that made headlines during the week. We will be talking about the appointment of new service chiefs and national security on the discussion segment, plus our regulars, updates from the world of entertainment and sports. Do stay tuned. Residents of Gomo community in the Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State have appealed to the federal and state governments to, as a matter of urgency, come to their aid in completing the road medians to partition the constructed federal road which passes through their community. Tejani Ajara completes the report.
Gomo, an ancient community in Kwara State, serves as a major gateway linking several states in the region. Unfortunately, the community's strategic location, the economic advantages and reliable power supply have not brought the desired developments to the community. A visit to Gomo Popular Market shows the rowdiness of the road as many drivers cross to other side of the road with impunity. The recently constructed Popular Federal Highway, which sits across the Gomo community, has become a significant threat to the residents, travelers and vehicular movement due to failure to complete the road medians for necessary demarcation. Alhaji Moshood Lawal is the chairman of Gomo community. He calls on federal and state government for urgent intervention to address these concerns.
But the most pressing now is almost weekly recording of deaths on this federal road. The major divide has been left unattended to, making it easy for vehicles to meander, and doing that, there's hardly any week we don't report deaths here. We therefore want to call on the federal government to please do something urgently to address the situation.
Community stakeholders, marketers, road transporters and users expressed their concerns, alleging that the road has claimed many lives since the beginning of this year.
We have primary school and central mosque. So to jọmọ pé tí òfin bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ òfin gangan òfin sọ pé irú àwọn ààyè kan fi bọ́ọ̀bù sáàrin rẹ̀ torí àwọn kéékèèké tí wọ́n kọjá. Àwọn wọn pẹ̀lú iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ṣe lérí rẹ̀. Àkọ́kọ́ wá dákun kó bá ṣe tó kù náà kọ́lọ̀ bá kó bá fi yẹ.
It's more reasonable for government to come to this kind of area, help us repair this place, tie it down to Agbabiaka. From there, even those that want to go to Tanke, from here to Tanke, they can pass through this side instead of going through the main road.
They, however, appeal to both federal and state governments to expedite action on the demarcation. The community is also clamoring for inclusivity in the scheme of things, as many governments and private establishments situated on their land allegedly do not employ their members, leaving many jobless.
Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak says his administration is passionate about solidifying the foundation of education. He stated this when a team from Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, visited the state to assess possible areas of intervention to advance basic education in the state. Relat Ibrahim has the report.
The visit by the Japan International Cooperation Agency follows the receipt of a request for support to improve the quality of basic education by the Nigerian government. Kwara State is one of the states selected to benefit, hence the need for a team to make an assessment visit to determine the most important areas of intervention. Leader of the team, Masuzaki Mizuki, stressed the commitment of the agency to improving the quality of education for Nigerian children for better economic growth and prosperity for the nation.
We are actually focusing on improving quality of education, especially basic education. And we have done before as a SMART SEP project, strengthening science and math education, and also supporting establishing of teacher education.
Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak noted that JICA was known globally for developmental support, and that the state was looking forward to partnering with the group to correct deficiencies in the education sector.
Nothing is perfect, so we have a lot of deficiencies in, for example, out-of-school children, female education, and so many issues related to that. So we need as much help as we can to fortify our education. The better education is, the better the global economy is.
The team is expected to visit schools in the 3 senatorial districts in the state. Raliat Ibrahim, NTA News.
The inauguration of the 10th National Assembly sets the tone for fresh legislative matters at the Senate and House of Representatives. Aisha Abubakar Yaya in this report finds out people's expectations from the 10th National Assembly.
The 10th National Assembly comes on stream. The public expectation is a sustainable dispensation of good governance delivered by a legislature that is people-oriented and under a leadership that is defined by dexterity, creativity, as well as absolute loyalty to the people. But for Nasir Abdulkadri, a public affairs analyst, his expectations from these present lawmakers is way more than usual because he believes a responsive parliament should be driven by a deliberate commitment of the legislature to regular citizens' engagement.
All of us, both at state level and national level, we should hold our National Assembly members extremely responsible. We should not be sitting down and expect just handout from them. It is ridiculous that, okay, we are expecting them once they bring rollota, or they bring machine, or they bring, what's it called? Every other, all these empowerment tools. We should not sit down to think that they have done well. Now they want to do school loan now. It's our responsibility to tell all our senators from Kwara, for example, the House of Rep members that have gone from Kwara State, to hold them responsible that on no condition should Kwara be changed from this program.
Some are also of the opinion that the 10th National Assembly should be able to lift Nigeria out of the present economic situation by making and passing laws that will have direct positive impact on the citizens, while romancing other arms of government should be discouraged, with proper checks and balances taking center stage.
Nigerians are seriously hoping for the best for them, and we should, all Nigerians should always at the same time pray for them.
We are expecting the current National Assembly to be very, very creative in engendering a kind of law and legislation that will reduce these tensions. Talking about the welfare of the Nigerian masses.
A new and meaningful beginning is therefore possible with the 10th National Assembly if the citizens can also take time to check members representing them at both the red and green chambers. With that, Nigeria can become a better country whose lawmakers cannot sideline them while trying to make laws that will be of benefit to all. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
We will now take a background report on reactions to appointment of new service chiefs by President Bola Tinubu, which will lead us to the discussion segment. The appointment of the new service chiefs by the president to some residents in Ilorin followed persistent calls that the security architecture needed to be rejigged, with fresh hands allowed to handle the nation's security apparatus. Olushola Obadeyi, a security expert, lamented that many Nigerians had been killed by terrorists, bandits, and armed gangs during the past administration. His desire is a new security architecture that will put an end to the security challenges in the country.
Security is zero during the last administration. You can imagine people kidnapping and calling for ransom. And the service chiefs will say they don't know where they are. But you look at it this way: if you commit a crime and police is looking for you, there is nowhere you hide. You can only run, you can't hide. They will fish you out with all the technology we have. But then kidnappers will stay in the bush and tell you to bring money.
With a commitment, with perseverance, and without minding whose ox is God, they should go after the bandits and all those troubling the country.
Community policing is still coming out as a suggestion to make the country more secured.
They need to leverage and also meet with the locals, vigilantes, the traditional leaders, and also the people of that particular dwelling in the environment, that we have those prone security threat, they need to liaise with them, they need to meet with the traditional rulers. So it is them that they will be able to, they can identify amongst them that who are bad eggs.
They have been fingered to be at a certain level of corruption, particularly with our mainstay of the economy, which is oil. To that extent, I think what he has done is good. They want to appoint a new list of hands that will help him improve, both corruption-wise as well as the security-wise.
A secured country, people believe, will encourage more foreign and local investments in the economy, thereby improving the well-being of citizens. You're welcome to the discussion segment of Weekend Report. Our topic of discuss tonight is appointment of new service chiefs and national security. My guest is Olushola Obadeyi, a security expert. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Now,
it's a pleasure.
What's your take on President Bola Tinubu's appointment of new service chiefs?
Actually, it gives a very good impression of the president. In previous elections, the winner probably doesn't know he was going to win. But in this case, he seems to be aware, he seems to be prepared. It's not an easy thing to come to the office and within a few months you have selecting service chiefs. I know of some governments that took several months and people were complaining. But because I know it's not as easy as it looks. For you to select service chiefs, you have to look at geopolitical arena and the availability of the chiefs you want in those areas. You will say easily that if you look into the army, you always get someone from every state, police, someone from every state. It's not as easy as that. And you can see the way he started. First, selecting his advisors. His advisors must have worked day and night to give him information about those people who will select. Because the president himself doesn't know much about them. His advisors are the people that will go and get the background checkup on every one of them. And they are so successful, as you can see. Jubilations in the army, jubilations in the police for the appointments of certain people. It means that appointment was well planned. And again, security is everything. Without security, there can't be peace. So what happens is that he has to act in time. And I like the way he acted. He's acting on a clean slate, so that he will take responsibility of any error or any success. He didn't leave any stone untouched and say, well, it's from the last administration. But all the same, it's a very, very good step in the right direction. The president will be commended for that.
Well, all right, sir. Do you think changing of service chiefs will improve security in the country?
Well, going by previous performance of the old service chief, you may as well change them because they were not meeting up to this expected standard. If it's failure you are fearing to retain them because you don't know what you are coming, you have already seen failure. You may as well risk it and change them. So it was a very good idea. There might be error because some of the service chiefs, not all of them, were not doing well. Some are doing well, some did not. But when you put them together, if 1 or 2 out of 10 is doing well, then collectively they are not. And it's best bet to outright change, especially when you have security of the nation involved. You can't afford to risk any error. Any decision he takes, it will favor some people, it will not favor some. But when you look at both sides, you find out that those that it favors are in the majority. Then that's a success. So it's important he changed them. I don't think it's you see, when it comes to national issue like that on security, you want to see, you want to average up. But he didn't bother. He pushed out everybody because their performance cannot be linked to him anymore. Their performance cannot be linked to him. They are dedicated to the past government. So he wants to start on a clean slate and give the nation a new hope for security. A situation whereby people kidnap citizens of the country and call from somewhere and say you must pay ransom, and this thing goes up on the news, and you begin to wonder, what are the security doing? But if the president did not give them the go-ahead, their hands are tied. Anybody in security and knowing about the military arrangement, you will find out that if the commander-in-chief does not give a go-ahead, they can't do anything. So they are not really to be blamed in totality. If the commander-in-chief gives a go-ahead, he can commit all the military, all the army of Nigeria into battle for one single citizen, if he wants to. And if he does that, thousands of people will die to save one person, because they must obey the chief, the commander-in-chief. But as you can see, they are just there in the forest, I mean in the barrack, whereas people are being kidnapped and taken to the forest. In this country, it's unacceptable. Something has to be done about it.
All right, sir. How do you think synergy between all security agencies will help improve security of the country?
Synergy is very important. Synergy is very, very important. In a war situation, for example, you must have synergy between the infantry, between the artillery unit, between the naval unit, between the air force. You don't just grab soldiers, as the literal meaning of some Nigerians. When they say soldier is going to fight, they just say it's the people holding gun and running in the bush. That is the battle. No. Military combat is so advanced now. Combat is so advanced. You can see what United States did in Iraq. Just their air force alone defeated the whole country. Synergy has to be very important. When anything happens, they should be ready. They should get a group of military men ready in each state to take advantage or to move immediate. They get to know. Now, you see armed robbery in banks. They go there, they rob, and they go away and drive away. The idea that that happens is because we are not prepared. If we have an Air Force base, helicopter, military, police, stand by. At the call of just one single call, they will take off. When people know that when you go to when you kidnap or you armed robbery, you see there is this adage that says assurance of prosecution is deterrent to crime. When they know that you can't get away with it, even if you succeed and run away and you are not caught, the intelligence are after you. All this we should put in place. Have an intelligence unit that will handle crime, especially if they have a national look. You can have people just waylay a train and kidnap them and take them to the bush and start negotiating with the government. With who? Government should stop negotiating with a terrorist on no condition. What's wrong? If you kidnap citizens and you go to the bush and hide, what you have declared is war. We face them. We have facilities for it. The military is there, the Air Force is there, the naval, the Navy. Why can anybody do this, for heaven's sake, in a country that has an active military service, active military formation? It's very, very unacceptable. It's unbelievable. When I see it happen, I begin to wonder, and I look into it and find out that this can't happen if the head of state has given the go-ahead for the military to destroy those people. It doesn't matter if you say you don't want some people to die. People die in war. It's obvious. Even the military you are sending, they will die. But when 10 die to save a country of 100 million, then we are approaching success.
All right, sir. The new Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has assumed office and is expressing determination to fight insecurity like a tiger. Is this realistic?
Yes. Well, insecurity, when it happens, the first place of call is the police. Now, the police is a kind of security outfit on its own. It's when it gets out of hand that you start calling in the military, the soldiers, the naval, the air force. The police is the first confrontation criminals will face. Right. When he says he's going to fight it like a tiger, that means he's saying he's going to prepare, and there is no sacred cow. If he's allowed to perform, let me put that across to you. Most of the service chiefs are willing to put in their best. I mean, it's life that is at stake. It's not they're not going into battle to play. They're not going to be greeted with flowers. Their lives that will be lost. So they are prepared to work. It's now left for the president to give them the enabling condition, enabling environment, enabling motivation. Right? Let's train and retrain. It's a good idea, and I support his intention. If he's going to fight it without a sacred cow, nobody is going to kidnap and run into the bush, and you are not allowed to go there because the police cannot go into the bush. That's an addict that is irritating. Let him show us by action. Anybody could have said that, but let him show that difference. Fight them like a tiger. We want to see. Tigers doesn't mess with their prey. It's either they catch that prey or their own life goes for it. They need it to survive. So those criminals have to be caught if the Inspector General of Police wants to survive his office. That's the implication of what he has said. Tigers fight for survival. Thank you.
All right, sir. In those days,
yes.
Well, people like us might not have met it, but definitely you met it. People put their goods by the roadside. Some people come, buy, and go. Nobody takes anything that does not belong to them. Now, how did we lose the culture of trust and love in the society?
You know my answer to that? Poverty. Poverty. Our population grew without job. In those days when you have jobs, Peugeot Automobile, Volkswagen, they were there creating jobs. We have textile factory here in Kwara State before. Where are they now? They are all gone. Titan Line, gone. Where are they? Bashita Sugar Company, Jeba Paper Mill, gone. You now have massive population that has nothing to do. We can't feed ourselves. There is no money. Before you know it, temptation will come in. This man, if you say you put your things on the street and you meet it there, it tells you the level of trust the society has. If you have your own money, you are comfortable at home. You go out, you want to go, this is yam. Where is the owner? You can't get it. Oh, okay, he has 3 stones there, that maybe be 3 naira. You put it there, you take the yam and go. If another man comes to buy, he won't take your money. Why? He's comfortable, he's okay. And again, the community knows each other. The fact that the man is not there doesn't mean 1 or 2 people are not seeing you. Communities are more bounded together. And the question of poverty just became out of place recently. It wasn't like that before.
All right, talking about community, yes. How can community policing help check insecurity, especially kidnapping and banditry?
You see, community policing means the police living inside the community itself. If you have a community, and we all know that this man is a policeman, any problem we have, there is that tendency for you to go and tell him. They see him as the head. Now, if the policeman does not abuse that opportunity, then it becomes a good idea. He will be an informant for the police. Whatever happens, he seems to know. It's a way of giving information to the police because the police are living inside the society itself. When somebody is kidnapped, the police in that community knows, and they probably know where to look. So community policing is a good idea if it can be done with a kind of vigor, pursue it vigorously. It's a very good idea. It has a tested reliability, tested success. It's a good idea if they can follow it as it should be done.
All right, so we're rounding off now. In one sentence,
yes,
there are accusations against the military of involvement in elongation of insecurity and oil theft. What's your advice to the new service chiefs?
New service chief should be a kind of new status this time around. They have a new job to do. Let them face the nation's problem directly. They all know. How can we have service chiefs, naval chiefs, and our oil is being stolen, taken across the sea? It's not possible. Things should change unconditionally. They should focus on those areas where the country is being disgraced by criminals, like kidnapping, oil theft, bunkering. All those are areas where we are losing billions.
All right, sir. We would like to sincerely thank you for coming on the program. We hope when next we call you avail us your presence.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Weekend Report. We go on a break to be back with more reports. Stay tuned.
Hey, Iskini, báwo la ti fẹ́ sanwó mi? Farabalẹ̀. 1,000. We go wash plate tire o. Farabalẹ̀ now.
Madam, èló lówó wa?
Brother, na 3,005.
Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000.
Ó yá.
Bring your phone.
Ha! 10,000.
1,000 naira credit. Now you dey turn to 10,000.
No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Now what go tell?
Welcome back. And moving on to entertainment news. British Nigerian sensation Gabzi is ready for the spotlight. Tanitolu Agboyin has details of this from the world of entertainment.
Although his music may not conform entirely to the typical sound of Afrobeats, Gabzi has captured the hearts of numerous Nigerians, home and abroad, with his distinctive style of feel-good vocals and R&B fusion. While he hasn't operated in the limelight like most of his contemporaries, Gabi has let his music do the talking for him. His ability to connect with his audience lies in the unmissable emotions in his song, which resonates with listeners who show their love through the impressive streaming numbers he pulls. Marachi, the renowned Nigerian artist, has triumphantly reclaimed his position in the upper hand of the Nigerian music industry after a much-awaited comeback. Fans and industry insider have eagerly anticipated his return, and Marachi doesn't disappoint with his highly anticipated singles Sarafina and Hook Up. Nollywood actress Toyin Abraham is ecstatic as her latest movie production, Ijakumo, is now available on Netflix. Ijakumo tells the story of a pastor who leads a secret life and falls for an erotic dancer in his church, unaware that it's all part of an ex-lover's scheme to destroy him. Tanitoluwa Agboyin, NTA News.
And for spotted bits, let's join Ahmad Fulani.
Fans have criticized the Portuguese for having poor technical knowledge. However, Alhaji Ibrahim Guzo revealed that the plan is to push the vote to Nigerians to air their views and thoughts. Super Eagles striker Emmanuel Dennis is scheme for a stay in Europe amidst reports that the player could be heading to Saudi Arabia. Dennis is likely to leave Nottingham Forest this summer, and his representatives have started the process of holding talks with potential interested parties. Ahead of the first phase of the Men's and Women's Handball Premier League in Benin City, Aldova has been named as new sponsors. This was revealed during a press conference in Lagos, as the competition will now be known as Aldova Premier Handball League, and a 3-year sponsorship deal worth 9.25 million naira. With Sport Update, Ahmed Fulani, NTA News.
Sport Updates concludes our package on Weekend Report. Good evening.
For more news and programs, you can visit our website on www.ntailorin.com.ng. Download the NTA Ilorin app from Google Play Store on your Android devices. You can also watch our news on NTA Ilorin YouTube channel.